Okay, this is day 3 of me going through all these file utilities and explaining what they do. This is a file merger in the file tools organization, and I use this once a week. So what it does is spelled out here in the README file. It takes a bunch of stray notes that you've taken in Markdown and it merges them into day-based folders like this, so that all of these notes, let's say all of these notes were taken on the 15th of January 2024, it would merge them all into this one file and it would lay them out chronologically. So it reads the creation date, the meta creation date. It knows which day folder, which day file to create, and then it knows how to align them. So it kind of like turns a Markdown file into a database in that it preserves the creation date, but instead of them being all these scattered files, uh, they are kind of archived in a journal-based format. And the reason you might want to do this is if you are a user of Obsidian or any of the other apps that tend to emphasize journaling. It encourages you to take kind of like, files that aren't that important, merge them into one file. And the reason that I don't just do this directly in Obsidian is that Obsidian is not great for quick capture. So what I do is use another app called FS Notes. And FS Notes has a great native Swift-based iOS app, but it just saves everything to iCloud as text documents. So this is FS Notes here. And here you can see is the file folder for FS Notes. So like if I just put a 2 before ski boots and save it, you should see that here we go on the left side that changed the file. So it looks kind of like Bear, which is another really popular iOS app for taking notes, and you can even drag in photos and they'll appear here. It's a really great app, but it doesn't use a database. It just uses files. And so I'll use this as I'm going around for quick capture. Okay, so I run the file merger script once a week, and let's just try it. So what I do is I just dedicate a folder, say to merge, and then I'll take all the files to merge, and you'll see over here, right, on the file system, it just does the same thing. It's just like, a wrapper for the file system. It's like a different type of finder that looks like a notes app. And then I'll just go into the script. What you do is I downloaded it off GitHub, and then there's a sample file that you just rename from sample to config, and then you just fill in your details. So I've opened this folder, and if you're not a coder too, you can use this. Just open it up in a text edit document. You can just go like this, text edit. Really simple to configure. It's a little easier to see in a text editor because it grays out the comments, obviously. But if you could just make it simpler by deleting these comments before the semicolons. It's set to New York time zone. We'll read it here, but it's the same thing. It's set to New York time zone. And all you need to do is set the directory where your files are located. And I just always keep it the same directory. So it's always in the to merge folder. And again, you just, can get that by control click, and then when you're in this menu, option click copy to get this path, and then you paste that in. So we have the right path, and then the output path, I just do it on my desktop. So this is my desktop. This is this folder right here, which we can see is empty. And then we'll just run this, PHP, and then I can do this again. Just type in PHP, drag in this file merge once you've configured it, hit enter. Wait a second, you'll get some feedback. This is a limited amount of notes, but after a week, it'll produce 7 notes, right? And so here we go. Look, this was empty. Now we have a file in here. And awesome. This is exactly what we wanted. it merged these files into one file. Okay, and now I can copy this into a new note. Or really, you can just drag this note into Obsidian, which is what I normally do. It doesn't need empty. And then there we go. That's those are my notes that I took in another app, and then at the end of the week, I just kind of, it takes like 15 seconds at the end of the week, and it gives me a good way to centralize everything in Obsidian, but use FS notes. I love having them in chronological order because of the way this sidebar works, and I can just scan between them. Sometimes if they're important notes, I will make them in H2, and then I can see what they are in the sidebar. I also normally use a special theme that makes the time stamps much smaller and in gray, so they are not as prominent, but I don't have the theme activated right here. So that's how I use File Merger. It's in the file organization. You can use it for Markdown. You can also use it for text. Right now it's actually just for Markdown, but I think before I commit it again, I'm going to make it for text documents too. So feel free to use it as well.